Hello everybody and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video we will be talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and how he could have a chance at winning this nomination with Republican support. This headline from the Chicago Sun-Times puts it perfectly. This is how RFK Jr. could really make a difference in this primary, is with Republican support. And I know that sounds crazy because this is never a thing we talk about. Maybe once, and I'll get to it in a second, but we never talk about people in the other party voting, someone say they're a Democrat voting in the Republican primary, and vice versa. We never, ever talk about that. That's simply never a factor because it so rarely happens. Number one, because not all states have open primaries where Democrats, Republicans, Independents can all vote in a party's primary. And two, voters don't want to give up a chance to vote in their party's primary. But this time, I feel, is a little different, and there are, so many different factors how this could play out and reasons for this. And as I mentioned briefly, we've only talked about this like really once before, people of the other party voting in a party's primary. And we talked about it in 2022 when Democrats turned out for Liz Cheney in her primary, in the Republican primary for U.S. Congress in Wyoming. But still, it didn't make any difference. So it wasn't very relevant. So maybe this won't be either, which is probably accurate. But first of all, I just want to say, among Democrats, Robert F. Kennedy is already at 20%. Okay, that is where he is polling. And I will also mind you that Kennedy is like running a very poor campaign. Okay, he got 20% from absolutely nothing. It's not like he has a lot of money at all. No PACs or billionaires or businesses are giving money to him, that's for sure. He's definitely not an establishment figure. It's not like he has the money to run ads, do whatever. And he has only had a total of 2 campaign events in his entire campaign, which has been going on for almost 2 months now. And both of which, I mind you, were absolutely packed, huge audiences. So even with nothing, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is polling at 20% among Democrats. And I really wish I pulled up a poll that I had here that polled the Democratic race currently with Biden, Williamson, and Kennedy. It polled that race not among Democrats but among the entire national electorate. And there have been a couple polls now, and 2 showed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. leading by a lot when you include Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Because if you're getting 20% of the Democratic vote, winning the Republican vote by 20%, and then winning independents. Yes, he is winning independents in the Republican primary race so far, Democratic primary race so far. And if you're winning independents by 10 points, then you are going to lead nationwide, and that's exactly what it did. And I mind you, among baby boomers, oh my God, he had a 60-point lead over Biden, something absurd. We're about to talk all about it, but I feel that Republicans, in this video is specifically about Republicans turning out for Kennedy, and I feel that a lot could, because a lot of Republicans will, one, be looking at this primary field, not someone really that, who aligns with them all that much. They're going to be number one, looking at this field, and then number 2, looking at Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his polling numbers, how he is leading in that Democratic primary, but nationwide, if all states had open primaries and everyone voted in the Democratic primary, they're going to be looking at those two things and saying, well, I might really vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because a lot of Republicans, I'm telling you, especially Trump supporters, a lot of Trump supporters like Kennedy. And they want him on the Trump ticket, but if not, they want to vote for him. A lot of people, a lot of even Trump supporters are saying, I would vote for Kennedy in the general election, even over Donald Trump, and especially over the rest of the Republican primary field, easily. So in the general election, that's no doubt, but I feel that Republicans may turn out for him in the primary because they're going to be looking at this field. I mean, say, you are someone who really liked Trump in 2016. You really, want to defeat, the establishment figures, and that's why you liked Trump back then. You want to disrupt the system, all of that, drain the swamp. But you really don't like what the baggage that Trump now has. 8 years now after 2016, with now being indicted, now being charged with sexual assault. And you're going to say, I'm not that big into Trump anymore after all of what's happening. Even though I like what he still says about draining the swamp, he didn't do that, first of all. And then he has all this baggage now. And then you're going to look at the Republican field. Tim Scott, of course not. He's an establishment figure. Vivek Ramaswamy, you're like, maybe, but he is very far out there. He wants to raise the voting age to 25. That's absurd. Asa Hutchinson, of course not. Nikki Haley, of course not. Larry Elder, of course not. And Ron DeSantis, of course not. And then you go, and we could even go Doug Burgum, Chris Christie, Mike Pence, no. And then you're going to find yourself being very interested in this Democrat, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is an outsider, even more of an outsider than Trump was in 2016, not afraid to speak his mind, fits a lot of your ideals, especially about lockdowns during COVID. He has a lot of moderate or maybe some conservative ideas. You're going to say, this man is better than the entire Republican field combined, okay? And if you live in a state with an open primary, Republicans are going to look at this and say, I think I am going to vote for Kennedy because he is better currently than all the Republicans in this race. And another factor is the fact that, Trump is just as much guaranteed the nomination practically as Biden is. And so if you're a Republican and maybe even a Trump supporter, and you want a Trump-Kennedy matchup, you're going to say, I know Trump is going to win this race, but at least I can help Kennedy in the Democratic primary. And, you could vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because, even though Biden does have 60%, only 7, as we said, Biden is only 7 points ahead of Trump in his primary than Trump is in the Republican primary. That's just insane to me and an absolute embarrassment for Biden and the Democratic establishment. But anyway, what was I even saying? But you're looking at it, but yeah, Trump has basically really as much a chance of winning his nomination than Biden does. And that, if the primary was fair, that's a whole nother video, and I probably will make it soon. But yeah, Republicans will feel a lot of Trump supporters who want that Kennedy-Trump matchup, who want to see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Really change this Democratic Party that has left the working class. They're going to say, I know Trump will win the nomination. Maybe if it gets close, I'll vote in the Republican primary, but at least I can help out on the Democratic side and help nominate RFK Jr. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That would help a lot. Again, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. I might make another video right now.